Hello everybody, welcome to Track Talk Edition 4, Event 8 of the Wera Tools British Kart Championships, back at Whilton Mill. Quite strange the weather, I mean it always is at Whilton Mill, but it's gone from feeling very September-ish to almost now like being like July again. Yeah, bit of a challenge for the drivers, the teams, on the last weekend of the championship for the Rotax categories. We also have the Mighty Bambinos here tomorrow, not as we're recording this. They're on a 2-day event as opposed to a 3 for the Rotax drivers. We're going to start with DHR, head in and see what we can find out here. General review of their day, because that's what we like to do here on Track Talk. Pretty good for Emerson McAndrew-Uren. We had a good chat with Emerson during one of our We Are the Champions interviews that you can see on the Karting UK YouTube channel in due course. Was fastest in FP4. Harry Taylor, P12, hopefully trying to recapture a bit of form. Had that very unfortunate spin at Bolton in one of the latter races. Deserved a lot more there. Macaulay Bishop, very quick, could potentially secure, well, I say it depends on when it's going to do it. No offence to Guy Hunter, Guy Cunnington and the rest of them, but the lead that Bishop has means that if he can sneak in a 5th or a 4th place in one of the earlier stages of this weekend, he'll be confirmed as champion. They're actually out on circuit right now. Also to note, in the back corner, I think there, the 24 and the 42 in micro, Albert and Arthur Farrow. Arthur was 4th in his session earlier on today. I want to have a chat potentially with Harry Taylor if we can very quickly. Try and sneak through and have a chat with Harry as I think he's getting ready for one of his sessions. Harry, feeling good this weekend?
Yeah.
About to go out for another session?
Yeah.
What have we learnt so far today?
Don't miss corners.
Which corners?
All of them.
All of them. Is the track driving differently? I'm just looking at it. It looks a bit more rubbered in. I mean, than it was earlier in the year.
Rubbered in, yeah.
How does that affect you as a driver?
You just need to be a bit more smoother, I guess. It's really detailed.
Particularly through, I know we talked a lot about the chicane when we were last here in March. Does that feel a lot different to how it was back in March?
It's a bit different, but not massively.
And hopes for this weekend. Obviously, Kim Bolton was a bit disappointed, a bit of an unfortunate moment in one of the big races there. What's the hope for this weekend?
To win.
To win. Good stuff. Simple as that. Let's roll on. Let's roll on to Synergy if we can. Emerson, as I say, we had a chat with earlier, so do go check out that interview when it's out on the YouTube channel. Synergy for this weekend. A bit of a strange one in a way for Synergy, because the title in Mini is done, bar the singing and the dancing. Bit of going through process to confirm it. I think for Finley Lyons his focus is on the other championship. Leo Livings is waving at me though, so that means Leo, you're going to have to come out here because your mechanics are playing music which we can't have on the broadcast. How are we feeling, Leo?
Good.
How's practice gone for you today?
Okay, yeah.
What have we been working on? Have we been doing a bit of setup work? Any secrets you can give us?
No, I can't give you no secrets.
Did you enjoy this track?
Yeah.
And it's a lot warmer than I think a lot of us are expecting, a week or so ago. Is that a bit of a problem, or is that something you relish?
I don't mind the heat.
I saw you out with your mechanic earlier, bouncing the ball around. What's going on in that? Is that just a bit of release of energy before your session?
Yeah. Also getting your eyes connected to your hands, so you're more focused on track.
How would you say the season's gone for yourself?
It's pretty good. We've developed a long way.
And what would you think what would you be happy with as a result this weekend? Top 10, top 5?
Yeah, I would definitely want top 5.
Good stuff. We'll see you out there on track later on. Finley Lansdale looking to get ready for his session. Other things that happened in Synergy World today as the wind whips up my notes and nearly takes them away from me. P10 for Sebastian Clark. Luke Holmes-Ballock a little bit off the pace earlier on today, but no worries, plenty of time. That's what practice is about, to find where you need to be. We should know championship situations at this stage. One round to go, but drop scores do come into play at this point. So anyone who's been at every single meeting so far this season has got 12 scores. It's now a case of improving on those 12 scores that you've kind of banked in with the remaining 3 opportunities that are presented to the drivers this weekend. The first of them being through the heats for your intermediate classification, the second of them being how you do in the pre-final, the third of them being how you do in the final. We're going to be talking about micro a lot this weekend because that is the tightest category. That's the one that's very much still up for grabs. We'll come on to more of that later. Minis, as we're talking, Albie Friend 751 points, Finley Line 715, a good gap there for Albie Friend. Bar the singing and the dancing, that one is done. Same for junior, Harry Bartle 742 to William Antrobus's at 680. But senior technically is still alive. As I say, Macaulay Bishop has a bit of work to do, probably in the earlier part of the weekend to secure it. But you never know, you never know. Guy Cunnington, though, I think actually at the moment all of their guys are out, apart from Rachel Robertson's kart. We won't spend too long in the Guy Cunnington tent, not because there's nobody in it, but we also had a really good chance to chat with Guy earlier on today. When that interview comes out, that was a really good one to kind of get into the mindset of Guy as the driver, but also as the team owner and the team manager, and all the stuff that he has to do even before the team get to the circuit. It's not just a case of him turning up as a driver on a Friday, racing, practicing, qualifying, doing all of that, and then going home on Sunday. So I do really recommend that you go and check that out when that's up on the Karting UK channel. But for what it's worth, Guy was sixth in FP4, Rachel Robertson was P9, and Jack Gillingham was P13. One driver I do want to have a chat though with is the number 28, Finley Jones. Finley, brilliant work earlier. I think that was that fifth in free practice 3?
Yeah, fifth in practice 4, practice 5. So looking good for tomorrow.
What's the key? What have we found today that's giving you that speed?
Well, truthfully, we haven't really found the key yet, but we're really searching. A few of the guys have come here from a different location, but yeah, we're still searching. We've tried a lot of things, and we're sort of still just a bit off from where we want to be, but we're still really happy. So.
As I say, as a relatively new team to the paddock as well, this is a tremendous start. Considering, is it the second or third race?
Yeah, it's my second of any British Champs event, and it's the team's third. So we're new to this stuff, but we're not new to karting, so we think we can do it.
Good stuff. What do you enjoy about racing in the British Kart Championships?
I think it's just how everyone's so close. You look at all the timings, everyone's with, I don't know, 3-4 tenths. You look at a club round, it's like a second or something. Yeah. And when it comes to the racing, anyone can win, and that just makes it really fun.
Does it being a final round of the season this year, I know in juniors the championship situation is a little bit cooled down, but does that add a little bit of extra spice? How do you tackle that?
Not for me. For me, I have to look at every driver the same. I'm going to come up past them. I'm going to do everything I can to do that, and that's just my job. Any driver, doesn't matter who it is.
Good stuff. We'll let you get back to work. Some absolutely cracking work by the George Whitbread racing team there. You know, you never know. You could have a bit of a dark horse result on a final round of the season. Yeah, very good to see them running well. Argenti running 3 karts, I think, this weekend. Thomasman Spearing was, well, in fact, both Thomasman Spearing and Harrison Whitcomb both had the same set of results, just the opposite way round. Harrison was fastest in his FP4, second in his FP3. So we'll flip them around. That gives you the results for Thomasman Spearing as well. Emily Cotty here this weekend as well in the number 42. Promising in FP3, 7th place earlier on in the weekend. I'm tipping, I know I've been saying this a lot this season, I'm tipping these guys to have a really good weekend. I think the fact that the championship is pretty much done in junior Rotax just takes their pressure off a little bit for this weekend, and they could break through. I think particularly for Whitcomb. You know, he's had classifications of being first, but the two of them so far this season, one of them was due to another driver getting a penalty, and another one earlier in the season was a force majeure because of an event having to be shortened on the schedule. Of course, how great would it be for him to get a win here this weekend, and a very big weekend for those two next weekend as well. Over at PF International, so they'll be looking to keep their good form in the seat going. Jax Motorsport. Jax, what do we say about Jax? I think if there was an award for most improved team across the course of the season, these guys would be a definite contender. Sebastian Behrman, We saw the form that he, of course, had at the Kart Masters at the British Grand Prix earlier on in this in the summer. Continue that on at Kimbolton. Was 18th in FP3 earlier today, so I think a little bit of work for them to do there. But we were talk to the team earlier, asking them like, what's changed since O-Plate? What's changed since March? And I think it all could be summed up as they've found themselves back in the groove. That now they know how to get the kart set up. Now they can really start developing Sebastian as a driver, and he's responding to that training and going along really well. Is one of our runners in the Micromax category who could emerge at the end of the weekend with a very strong result in the championship. This is the one that's going to go down to the wire, I reckon. Austin Oman is leading the championship. And we've got to praise Sebastian's dad, the mechanic, as well, who I've been reliably informed is the driving force behind how quickly this GP plate has been going the last couple of months. But yes, we're going to be talking a lot about micros because there's probably 3, 4, maybe 5 drivers who, depending on how the weekend goes, could emerge as champion. And we remember back to Kimbolton, who would have called a Lucian Smith victory before the start of the weekend. It's going to be an unpredictable one, which is going to make it tricky. Fire service is out. Good to see that everyone's safe here at Whilton Mill. But yeah, really excited for what Micromax is going to be like this weekend. We've not just got Micromax drivers in here because I say it's not just been the younger categories that have been doing nicely. Today in particular, you've had, that's my notes, they're trying to fly away again, Pearson Bullock Carter, who's going to be over there somewhere. His kart was 4th, Jamie Perilli 9th and 7th. So yeah, senior Rotax. Could be some good results for Pearson Bullock Carter and Jamie Perilli, who I think are in that category of been knocking on the door across the course of the season. I think particularly back to Warden Law, they were pretty strong. So yeah, we'll see what they can do. There is the number 44 of Lucian Smith going by. I think some of our micro drivers racing through. Josh Cook, O-Plate, won here the last time we were here in March, so all the reason for them to be pretty confident here this weekend. Luke Millward, another one of our championship contenders earlier on. They're still going out for another practice session, of course. Luke was 6th in FP3, so looking to improve on that. Lucian Smith was 3rd and Joshua Cook was 2nd. We won't go in there now because it's a completely empty awning. Luke, does Luke want a very quick word with us? Luke, very quickly for Track Talk. Confidence ahead of this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it was really quick in the last one, so we're just gonna do one temperature and then for another and see which one's better in the session. So then hopefully we can get a better justification on it.
Fantastic stuff. I'll let you get going because I know you've got your session. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Yeah, so I'd say drivers with a lot of confidence this weekend. Piers Pryor is sneaking around the back of Dan here. I don't know if he's... What are you up to, Piers?
Just enjoying soaking in the paddock.
just a day. It's a nice day. It's a lovely Friday.
Absolutely. Just scoping it out all for Alpha Live. Of course, I'm going to be watching this weekend, even though I can't be here.
What excuse have you got this weekend?
Well, I'm commentating on GB3 and 4.
That's a fair excuse. That. There you go. I'll let you get on with that. Let's talk more about KR Sports. Some of their older ones. Let's run through juniors. Thomas Behrman, P4 in FP4 earlier. Of course, junior being one of those groups that's got an A group and a B group. So when I say that Kai Veach was also 4th in FP4, that's why, because Behrman was in Group A, Veach was in Group B. Jack West was very quick earlier today as well. Jack West had a tremendous season, really kicking through the ranks in the last 6 months or so, was 2nd. Let's talk about our seniors as well. The seniors will be coming back in, I reckon, from their latest session. Caden McQueen fastest in his group. Archie Walker was also fastest in his group in FP3. McQueen was fastest in FP4, and Joshua Graham was pretty quick earlier as well in his FP4. There's no drivers in here at the moment, so we'll march on to see who else we can find. I think for Archie Walker, looking to Obviously bounced back over a really, really tough end to the Kim Bolton final. You know, had that issue down with other drivers involved. Not the way he would have wanted to finish his weekend. So hopefully he can bounce back. Hunter Motorsports. There is a mathematical chance that Kai Hunter could retain his title. He does need a small miracle, but if there's one driver who can achieve it, it is Mr. Hunter, and he was second fastest in his FP3, fourth fastest in his FP4. So the pace is definitely there this weekend. I had a very quick chat with him in the paddock earlier. He seems relaxed, he seems ready to go. And I think in a way, you think back to last year, he was the championship leader. It was all that case of, could he hold on? Could he do the business? Of course, he did do the business to gain that #1 plate. He hasn't got that pressure this season. You know, he's the one doing the chasing. So I think we're looking forward to seeing how Kai gets on this weekend. How are we doing in the Hunter Motorsports realm today? Are we feeling good?
Yeah, doing all right.
How's practice gone?
All right, not too bad. Find out one's steps, doing well.
How's the track feeling from your perspective? I know a couple of drivers have said it's almost got a little bit too much grip.
I'm not a driver.
You're not a driver, so it doesn't matter. I want to talk to a driver about the grip. From a mechanic's perspective, has the track got too much grip?
Hard to say. I'm not really too sure.
Never mind. I say, what else have I got on my list of notes? Max Jolly was pretty quick earlier today as well in Mini, and he's out on track now for another practice session. Let's head on up and round. Benedictas Masiokas, the only Zip factory runner this weekend, I think, and is currently not at the awning. Kraft. I'm hoping, he's going to probably be out on circuit again at the moment. Oh no, he's not. Look, S-plate. Love to see the S-plate here. Leon is hopefully going to have a little chat with us. Leon, very key detail change, S-plate. How good was it to win that a few weeks ago?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Wasn't able to win it last year due to a mechanical problem, so lost out on that, but got seeded then, so I was running that, and then did it again this year, and we were able to take it.
The circuit this afternoon, how's it felt in practice?
It's really grippy out today. This morning it wasn't too good, but it's so hard to get every lap perfect, like all the time. So,
has it gripped up in a means that means you actually start have to change setup quite significantly from when we were here in March for O-plate, or is it still kind of same gearing, same? You just have to drive around it.
It is a bit like kart setup, needs to be changed. Take grip off it, like the track, do most of it. The O-plate was actually like, I don't know, it wasn't too hot, but definitely a different setup.
And in terms of, no, you're not going to tell me exactly what you change when you've got to take grip off, but for the ones developing in the sport and getting used to it, what do we mean when we say we're going to take a bit of grip off the kart?
Like, you could change how the front's set up, like axle, you can change how high you have it, like everything like that, to just kind of release out the corner better at high grips situations, and so it doesn't grip up and then start bouncing basically.
Hopping around, or particularly on the rear axle, I imagine.
Yeah, it's not good to have that.
So I've done enough of that round in corporate machinery around the circuit. Back to this weekend, the season. I think it's had its high hopes. It's had its bad moments. What would be a good result here this weekend?
I mean, getting a trophy would be good, especially that prize visor sticker. But this year's just not went to plan at all, to be fair. We got number 9 last year, which was unexpected really, but we were hoping for a seeded number. And then this year we were looking for at least a top 3 in the British, but after the first 2 rounds, the luck wasn't on our side, so just not been a good year this year.
Do you start thinking about 2025 already, or is it still just trying to focus on getting as good a result this weekend?
Definitely trying to get the best result I can this weekend, but 2025's still a little bit away. But we've got a half plan already. So
good stuff. Hopefully we'll know what that plan is in due course. Thanks for talking to us, Leon. Appreciate your time. And yeah, really good to see the S-plate here. for a round of the British. Let's head on round. John Buchan, we should mention, is also in with Craft again this weekend. John came in about halfway through the season, continuing for another good run. The wind is causing havoc with the free practice notes, but let's head along. Let's have a very, very quick look into MLC if we can. Isabella Stansmore-Wilson's kart there in juniors. Alfie Ward was running in the top 15 earlier on this weekend. Is there anybody in here that we can have a talk to? No, it's all very quiet at the moment for the team. I think it's the same case with RCE as well, who didn't run or didn't have any times in FP3. FP3 was the first one. It's the first time you're watching these and wondering, Andrew, why aren't you talking about FP1 or FP2? We don't get any times at all. Transponders are not switched on for that point of the weekend. So some of the times we've got from FP3, some of them we've got from FP3 and FP4. For RCE, we didn't have any time. So we'll see how they do tomorrow. Coles Racing, I think particularly we're going to be talking about Hugh Moulton a lot this weekend. It's been great to see Coles Racing back towards the front. They are playing music, so we won't be able to head in too far because otherwise we'll get banned by the YouTubes. But yes, Hugh was, if I can find my notes again, P6, P7 earlier on in his FP3 and FP4, so looking pretty good there. We are going to head into GMS. This might be old news, it might be out of date news, but I'm going to go and have a chat with Louis Weaver. Don't sit down, come on, stand up. Louis Weaver, fastest of anyone in FP3. That must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It's a first for me, so yeah, I was quite happy with that. And the last two sessions were fifth, so still up there, and hopefully have a good chance this weekend.
Has that been a change you've done in the background? Is it? I know you've been working with these chassis a lot to find the pace in them.
Yeah, we've done a lot of rounds here this year just to try and get the kart set up properly, and a lot of work's been going on back at GMS with the engines and all that side of things, and it looks like it's paying off so far. So we'll see how we go.
So in terms of, you've been here for club rounds, I'm guessing, yeah. Have you noted a bit of a change of the circuit from, say, when we were last year as a championship for O-Plate?
So I didn't do the O-Plate here this year. I've only just done the British Champs round this weekend. All the club rounds before, it's definitely gripped up now, so it seems like the kart's working with it. So,
and being in one of the bigger karts as well, particularly through that last section, is it going to get a little bit tough through there?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit tough through there. Personally, I don't particularly like it because you have to run that curb over to be fast and it ruins the kart a bit, but it is what it is, and we hit quite fast through there, so it's not too bad.
How much work to do the rest of tonight before qualifying?
A little bit, before we just check it over, make sure it's all good for tomorrow, and then go again tomorrow, hopefully be up the front again.
Good stuff. We'll let you do it, and well done again, really good pace. Good to see, from my neutral perspective, good to see a different chassis up towards the front of the order as well. So great work from GMS, getting the pace out of the chassis. The C for competitive, showing it definitely is competitive here this weekend. Sam Pollitt Racing, big weekend, massive weekend for Sam Pollitt Racing. Earlier in the year, we saw them take their first win, the first round win. In fact, they took two on the same day up at Lark Hall with William Antrobus and Austin Oman. And it's always the way with any level of motorsport. You push, you get your first win, then it's talking about a championship. This team could have its first championship here this weekend, most likely in the shape of Austin Oman, who I believe is out on track now because earlier his kart was there. And Ewerhall's fastest in his FP3 earlier on today, clear by 3/10, so they've definitely got on the pace very quickly. I think the question is, can they stay out ahead? The good news is we'll just come to one side as Louis Radcliffe's kart comes back into the awning. The good news for Austin Oman, from looking at the maths, is it's close because it's been a bit of an up and down season for everybody. So in terms of the drop scores, it's not that situation, you know, sometimes you get into a drop score situation and you see a driver in the lead saying, oh, they need third place, second place to improve their score, to edge away from everybody else. And that can be a bit tough if someone comes through and has a clean sweep weekend. That's not the case for Austin Oman this weekend. He can pick up fourths, fifths, improve his championship score, and actually, I think, put the pressure on the rest of the opposition. So very intriguing to see. I think the early stages, the heats, are going to be really important for a number of the drivers in Micromax, and we'll see how it goes on. A driver not in Micromax, but I think he's still going to have a good weekend, Jack Collinson. Jack, how are we feeling?
I mean, like, this morning was very good. I took P1 in the third session, P4 in the session after that, and then I mean, we had a couple of little issues, but I'm sure they'll sort out for the race.
Qualifying, what are we thinking before tomorrow? Any more bits of setup that you do want to work on when you go out for warm-up in the morning?
Well, I think, to be fair, at the moment we're pretty happy with how the car's set up, so if anything, it's probably maybe tiny minor changes, but not much.
And season as a whole, you happy with it?
Yeah, obviously there's been moments where I think I could have maybe scored more, but there's also been moments where I've salvaged the most out of a bad situation, so I'm pretty happy.
What does the rest of the year look for yourself? I know you've been doing lots of racing in different countries as well, I think, if I'm right in saying. You know, what's the rest of the year looking like for you?
Well, I mean, I'll do a couple more rounds in Mini, and then as soon as the season's over, I'll be straight into Junior next year.
Looking forward to the Junior? It's a big step up.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I can be fast and fight at the front eventually, I'll be really happy.
Good stuff. Best of luck with it. We'll see you later on. Other news from Sam Pollitt. As I say, Jack was mentioned he was fastest in his FP3, was fourth in FP4. Riley Murrow, who we had a little sight of as well, second in his FP3, and then I think another fastest later on in the weekend. So yeah, the energy's good in this awning this weekend. I think Sam Pollitt Racing are really confident, and so they should be, because they've done some tremendous work so far this year. I didn't do one of these for Kim Bolton because I was away, so I am going to stick my head into Pro Train. The Carter was wanted to talk about isn't here. Never mind. Welcome Oliver Dawson to the Wera Tools British Kart Championships 2024. If you didn't get that welcome during the track talk on Friday last time round. So well done to him there. Truly Motorsport. We'll stick our head in. I'll just do the check that no one's playing any music. What can we see? We can see Max Gilman's car being worked on there. Was pretty quick. Is in, I think, around 11th place early on in FP3. Edward Haynes' car over there as well. There is Edward Haynes. Was P6 in FP3. We're just going to quickly turn because Macaulay Bishop's here. I'm going to pounce on him just as he's going through a bit of the scrutineering. Macaulay, practice good?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, obviously the time ones were near the end of the day, so definitely a P1 in one and then a P4 or something in the last one. So we're up there, definitely got some good pace. Yeah, I haven't really been around many people. I've just been doing my own thing, so I think as soon as I get a sniff of toe, I should be going fastest, really. How much do you think about points at this stage of the season? Obviously, you've got this really nice lead. You've got a little bit of improvement. I think PF had a bit of a slow start. We're looking to get rid of that score early on. Look, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to do my best. Just not crash. Just do it nice and cleanly. Just do it the way how everyone else would want to do it. Good man. We'll leave you to it. Good little chat there with Macaulay. As I say, always, I think, understandably keeping his cards close to his chest. What else have we got? Strawberry. Let's talk Strawberry. This is our minis area. Alfie Mayer 9th in micro FP3. Some good pace as well in the minis. Tom Reed was 6th. Albie Friend was 5th. Joshua Griffin was 3rd. Intriguing to see that Friend again, kind of similar to how we saw, at times early on in the season. He's got the championship pretty much won, bar the administration, as it were, of getting over the line for the last round of the season. The scary thing is, Albie Friend's actually still got room for improvement in terms of his championship score. His Lark Hall score wasn't the best. So we'll see how he comes out, whether he wants to try and get another clean sweep like he did at Kim Bolton. The last we're going to finish with is the junior and senior area of Strawberry Racing. Some really good pace for Harry Bartle earlier on today. Ariman Bansal had a chat with Cian Geraghty, who, similar to what we've been hearing from another number of other drivers, the track is almost
there's almost too much grip out there. And how you deal with that as a driver to pull yourself back from that point where you get out of shape and lose drive is really, really tough. Teddy Pritchard-Williams there as well, going for a top 5 in the championship here this weekend. I think a little bit of speed perhaps to find across the course of the weekend, so we'll leave them to that. And I think we'll probably wrap up there for Track Talk here today on a sunny September Whilton Mill. We've got 2 days of action coming up, all the heats tomorrow for Saturday's running, and then the pre-finals, well, the repecharges, and the pre-finals and the finals as well, to wrap up the Rotax calendar for the Wera Tools British Kart Championships. And don't forget as well that we've got coverage of the Rotax Grand Festival coming up in 2 weeks' time up at Warden Law Karting North East. Really looking forward to that. A number of the drivers that we're going to see in the paddock this weekend will be there, and more from around Europe and perhaps the globe. Really looking forward to that, so do make sure that you subscribe to Alpha Live. My name's been Andrew Mather, and we'll see you tomorrow for the heats.